Hello, I will be your artist speaking tonight. My name is Brooke Bartholomew. It is November 7th, 2025. That was not a burp as I thought. I just want to explain my art process thought because I think it's changed a lot and I think it's good to reflect on how things are, how things used to be. I had this artist talk is going great. I wanted to be like this like an interview. Shh. Shh. I used to have to come up with art projects for school. I say have to. It wasn't like a gun in my head. I love doing art all the time. That's not true. Haha. But I used to have to come up with things in a assignment based realm, which I still do. I'm still in school and that's still something that happens. But I used to only kind of had the handheld walk through situation through school. And that's fun. Like it's kind of like you have these rules that you got to set in stone. You want to think of something that's personal to you or interesting to you, you know what I mean, enough that you'll actually put an effort to make it, do something like that. So even when I was doing that kind of stuff in the beginning, it was like, what is something that I think is cool? You know, what is something that I think like what is something that's interesting to me? What's a topic that's interesting to me? What's a feeling, a vibe, anything? Like, what's something that I'm like, oh yeah, this is something I think about a lot. And expanding on that to then, like, make something interesting for somebody else. Being like, oh, I think vapes are cool. Let's make them in another way. Let's talk about vapes somehow. I made crayon vapes recently. And I used to do that. And it used to be like, okay, I think this would be funny. You know, I made a miniature bed, half the size of my own bed, and I put a Playboy magazine underneath it because I thought that was funny. You know, it was like this whole like, oh, you hide the porno under the bed. Like I thought it was just funny, you know. But it opened up a lot of stuff about like shame and sex and porn and all this other kind of stuff, you know. And those projects used to be like you'd have like about a month, roughly, with other life stuff going on, not just like a month of like, oh, you have a month to do this, but like a month and 5 other classes that you're taking and a sport and a job maybe, you know. So like four class periods, maybe a studio day here and there, you know, of let's say 3 hours of work. So you have about 12 hours of cumulative time to work on a thing. And that's a lot. It's a lot of time. It's a privilege. It's cool. There was a lot more lead up and there was a lot more stuff like that. And throughout that, and there's fluctuations with that. There was a thing I did that was like 4 months. There's some stuff that you do in like a day, 2 weeks, something like that. But a lot of those ideas, and the still ones that I have now, are like prototype. There are a lot of prototypes, a lot of things that it's like, yeah, I made a cup, I just wanted to try it out. Yeah, I made a this, I just wanted to see what it looked like. Yeah, I just da-da-da-da. A lot of prototypes, a lot of tests, you know? But then there's been projects that I've made that were like, the project was the fact that it was a prototype. You know? The project was the fact that I was like, yeah, this is the project that I made. It is a prototype of what I wish I could make. But I can't. Right now. And even those prototypes, it's like, oh, was it the best that they could have been? No. Is that somebody else telling me that? Is that what I think? I don't know. And I've transferred schools since that thought process. And my thought process is not really changing that much, but I have, when I say always, I mean the last kind of 3 years, 4 years. I've always had a lot of ideas, but not, like, it's kind of like quantity over quality, I think. And I don't know this for a fact because it's just been frustrating because I spend a lot of time driving. A lot of time. The school I used to go to was roughly 45 minutes to an hour away from me. The school I go to now is about 30 to 40 minutes away from me. Driving, one way. And I go to school at least 3 to 5 days a week, you know? So that's a lot of time driving, a lot of time spent in a week. And it's like, in my drives, I'm not a podcast person. No hate, but I'm not. And I listen to music. And I often, when I'm working, I notice this, I have to listen to the same music that I've always listened to because I choose to not listen to it. Like, I'll be making something, music is playing, and it's like, for me to also focus, the music is playing and I'm not even listening to it. I'm like so in thought of whatever it is that I'm doing. But if you put on music that I don't know, I'm listening to it. Real weird. And I work in silence too a lot of the time, which people think is weird. Anyways, though, I'm gonna take a bite of my food. But it's like, now I'm in different studios. I've gone through different things, and I'm with different professors. At this current right now moment, I don't really have like a consistent professor to talk to about art stuff. Like, the professor that I have for ceramics, she's cool. I don't think she likes me. Whether or not that's true, whatever. I still try to talk to her, but she's very assignment based, and the assignments that we've had, I've invested my time into them quite a bit, actually. But our art is not very similar. The stuff that I make is not very the same. Like, whatever. But haven't made that connection. So, like, at this moment, I kind of am talking through a bunch of people, which is cool. I've never done that before. Or, like, I have, but it's always been much more casual. Which this still is, but, like, it feels a lot different. The people that I'm talking to are, like, adults, not just people in community college who just got out of high school, you know? And, like, I have a ton of ideas all the time. Like, I'll be driving and I'll be like, cyberpunk gumball machine, and I'll voice that into my phone. Or, like, I have these ideas. And it's like, I think that I envision them as quantity over quality because I don't have enough time to make all of them as soon as I have the ideas. Which, that's fine. That's okay. Not every single idea has to be made. Not every single idea is great. Not every single idea that is great needs to be made. Not every bad idea shouldn't get made. Even the bad ideas should get made, you know? But it's like, I don't have $4 million to put into a cyberpunk gumball machine like I would want to. And that's normal. That's how life goes, you know? But within that, I still need to be making stuff way more than I am. Way more than I am. And I know that. And I kind of had a dry spell, and I'm realizing how much that, like, actually affected me from, what is it, roughly this May, to about September? May, June, July, August, September. Yeah, like, about a 5-month period of, like, I was only working, and I was not making stuff at all. And that affected me a lot, and I was transferring schools and all this stuff. But, like, I'm getting back into it now, and I have different facilities, and I have different resources and different access to different things. And so my thought process is much more like, I am trying to get into, just make it. Just do it. Just make it and come up with concepts later. But also the concepts that I'm thinking of are like, I saw this video about, like, how they do this in film, and it's like, pick an emotion, pick a thing, pick a emotion, a thing that you went through, whatever. Find the feeling within that, take that away from it, and find another way to communicate it. So it was like this feeling of isolation. Take that from life. Take that, space, astronauts. Then they made a movie about space. And that's a lot of what my stuff is based on. It's like, I have this feeling, I have this thought, there's this thing I did, whatever. Pinpoint that and explain it within a different context that is not literally that. And that's been fun. That's been real fun. So, this is your artist talk with Brooke. End of 2025. I might say more. We'll see. And give me.